bag on a stock that was basically dead. Had the whole squad laughing, said I lost my head. My charts look cursed like a demon possessed it. Options down bad, but I still went and pressed it. Held through the dip like a drunk at a fight. Then that candle shot up like a thief in the night. Trade station froze, tried to block my trade. Called him up quick like run me my pay. Analyst said I was out of my mind. Now I'm buying out bars off a God-tier climb. They hedge, I bet, they sweat, I flex. Whole damn portfolio built off stress. Maxed out margin, I ain't had to say. If this trade goes wrong, I ain't paying my rent. Whiskey on my desk, charts looking like flames. If I blow this account, I'ma double down again. Debt collectors knocking, told them buy the dip. If I lose it all, I'ma blame the Fed real quick. Risk to the moon, bring sales to the dirt. If I cash out now, then I never put in work. Took a YOLO on a ticker that ain't even make sense. Now I'm pouring champagne like it's common expense. Twitter said sell, but I bet against the herd. Now they in my DMs trying to act like they learned. Turn my last 5 bills to a house-size stack. Now the same ones hating trying to piggyback. Told my landlord he can kiss my debt, cause I just bought the complex and raised his rent. Mad money moves, I ain't watching no Kramer. I see red, I go in like a Vegas hater. Risk it all, let the charts decide. If I win, then we up. If I lose, we ride. Maxed out margin, I ain't hedge a cent. If this trade goes wrong, I ain't paying my rent. Whiskey on my desk, charts looking like flames. If I blow this account, I'ma double down again. Debt collectors knocking, told them buy the dip. If I lose it all, I'ma blame the Fed real quick. Risk to the moon, brain cells to the dirt. If I cash out now, then I never put in work. I could've been wrecked, I could've been gone. Instead I'm at the top and I'm taxing the throne. Broker hit my line like, boy, you a menace. Told him send the wire, then I blew it in minutes. Stupid. Dumbest trades keep paying my bills. If risk had a god, then I'm in his will. Told my girl I retire in June. Now it's looking like I might just buy the moon. Went from ramen packs to filet mignon. All from playing this game so wrong. Maxed out margin, I ain't hedge a cent. If this trade goes wrong, I ain't paying my rent. Whiskey on my desk, charts looking like flames. If I blow this account, I'ma double down again. Debt collectors knocking, told them buy the dip. If I lose it all, I'ma blame the Fed real quick. Risk to the moon, brain cells to the dirt. If I cash out now, then I never put in work.
We're so back. We're so back. At one point we were here, then we left, and I'm here to report to you all from MK Studios, your favorite DJ news. We are in fact back. We're back. I don't know what else to say. Like, a lot of people were wondering if we are or we aren't, but now we are back. We are officially 100% back. So just for anyone who needed that update, breaking news, hear all about it, read all about it, do whatever you need to, but we're back. That's what you need to know. We are, in fact, back right now. SPY up 7.5%, Q's up 9.5%, Bitcoin up 7.5%, MicroStrategy up 23%, Tesla up 18%, Palantir up 17%, NVIDIA up 15%, Meta up 12%, Apple, Microsoft up 8%. Dude, we're just ripping, dudes. Duties and dudiettes. It's incredible. I mean, check this out. It's just nonstop. We're just right here. Trump announced it, and a little bit past 1 p.m., and we just took off. And everything took off. I mean, look at this. Look at this heat map. They're literally running out of the proper shade of green to show right here. We don't even know what to show. They're literally running out of the proper shade. That's how green, that's how crazy this is. How is it over? It's paused. What do you think? How do you think that's going to go? They now have 90 days to figure it out. Do you really think that in the 90 days, these companies aren't going to figure it out? Come on. For those of you who are wondering, oh, like, it's not really over, it's paused. You haven't studied what happened in 2018. This is exactly what happened with 2018. Trump came in hardcore And then everyone's like, well, is it over? And it was just little things like this leaked out. And then eventually it was all fine and the market just completely ripped. So I'm not your mom. I can't tell you what to do with money. But if you're not dip buying right now, what's the point of you playing this game? Seriously. Like, what is the point? Tomorrow he will recall it. I highly doubt it. Highly. There would be no reason for him to do it. Did you listen to any of it? His entire reasoning was just, nope, 75 plus countries have reached out and Trump individually wants to be involved in the negotiation, so he needs time. So everyone's going to a universal 10%, except for China, which is going up to 125. So tariffs are being raised on China, and then the rest of the world is going to 10, and they have 90 days to negotiate, and of course they're going to. So basically, at this point, every country in the world has right here, they have exactly this choice. Side with America and come to the negotiation table, or side with China and try to ban with them, even though right now Trump is obviously, he'll just go after him. So the world has to pick. And yes, they could theoretically all side with China and then this blows up. But that is pretty much a 0% chance probability. I see that Trump is speaking. I can't seem to find a link. Do you guys know where that link is? We found one, but someone else, is it just directly? Can I maybe find it directly on Fox or ABC? Fox News right here.
They want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen. They'll call John, they'll do somebody, they'll go through somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them, if you retaliate, we're going to double somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them, if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate. So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible. A man like Roger Penske, I don't want to get him in trouble with China, so I won't, but he would know that someday you have to cut the bow and you have to do what you have to do, right, Roger? And that's what I did, and I'm very happy to have done it.
Mr. President,
Was there anyone
the Prime Minister of Greece just told Breitbart's Matt Boyle that he thinks absolutely the European Union and the United States could work out a trade deal that's win-win and, quote, mutually beneficial to both sides. What do you think about the Prime Minister's comments, and do you think a deal could be struck with the European Union?
First of all, I know him. He's a good man, and I appreciate his comments. Yeah, a deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them.
A deal's going to be made with China.
Deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. We don't have it there for fun. They have it for a reason. And people took advantage of our country, and they ripped us off for decades. I've been thinking about this for decades. If you ever saw me on television, I was young like these guys. And it was a good old days, I'll tell you, Roger. But I was like these guys, young, and I was talking about it. Nothing changed, and nothing was done about it. Then I did it. In my first term, I did it, and did it well. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China and others, and I started the process, but then we had to fix up from the COVID mess caused by China. We had to fix up from that, and we did a good job of doing it. And when we handed back the reins after a rigged election, and when we handed back the reins, the stock market was higher than it was before COVID coming in. So, you know, we did a great job, but we didn't have time to do the big thing, which we're doing now. And it's
pumping on this.
Like a patient is sick, you have to do surgery. Patient is very, very sick.
Oop.
And Joe Biden handed us over
getting a little bit of pump on this.
That was in very serious trouble, economically and in every other way. They let China run away with things. They let other countries run away with things. And maybe worst of all, in a certain way, is what they did at the border. We had people pouring into our country by the millions. Many of them were murderers and drug lords and thieves and people from prisons from all over the world. And there were people from mental institutions, insane asylums. They were taking their mentally insane, and they were dumping them into our country. And I'll tell you, Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are doing a fantastic job in removing them. And now the courts, the Supreme Court just gave us numerous good rulings where we have to be able to get them out. You had other judges trying to take over the system. And think of it, they take over. They want these people coming back. Tren Araqua from Venezuela, the Venezuela jails that cut off the fingers of a man in Colorado. They cut off his fingers because he called the police looking for help. They said, "Did you call the police?" He said, "Yes, I did." "Put your hand down," and they cut off the fingers. This is what they want to bring these people back now. And I want to thank the president of El Salvador for the job he's done, because that's the way it has to be done. It's too bad. Yeah, please.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy, whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before. We have
Better than
more
they've
car
ever done
manufacturers,
before.
Roger, coming into our country now. Speaking of cars, we've never seen anything like it. And they're coming in because of the election, but they're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay 25 or 50 or whatever it may be. They don't want to pay that. They can't pay that. We had 3 cancellations in Mexico.
Hit the daily upside gap though. There's another one up here to 55481 on SPY. On SPX it's 5572. On the Qs it is 466.
Chip makers come. We're the biggest chip maker in the world from Taiwan, coming in, spending $3 billion to build plants, and mostly a big plant. This is a hell of a plant when you spend the kind of money that
we be pumping.
200 to 300 $billion.
We be
million.
pumping.
You know, you'd say million would be the right number. It's not.
Up 8%. 8%.
$8 billion. Think of that. $300 billion. If you look at Apple, Apple is going to spend $500 billion building a plant. They wouldn't be doing that if I didn't do this. They'd just keep building them in China. And that's unsustainable. It's not a pleasant thing to do, but I appreciate the question. And you know, interestingly, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts, believe me.
Was it the bond markets that persuaded you to reverse course?
I was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it.
We're
but if you look at
approaching
it now,
record levels. We are currently
it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful.
8.3.
But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy.
We are currently at the
everything had-
15th biggest gain in U.S. stock market history, like of the whole history. And we're looking at dates back to 33, 29. Percentage-wise, we are at the 15th biggest gain ever. Ever.
I was helped by people just like this, senator, congressman, and friends, right?
That's
And,
crazy, dude.
we had great
That's
help in the Senate.
crazy.
Our Republican
Literally
senators have been
record.
amazing. They stood tall. And likewise in the House. And John Thune has done an amazing job. Barrasso has done an amazing job. I mean, I can't think of a senator, really. We had tremendous support. We got a bill passed the other day with almost unanimous support in the Senate. And I think we're going to get that in the House, too. And I have to tell you that Mike Johnson is
Yields
a great
getting
speaker.
hit.
He's done a fantastic job.
Whew.
We had a majority of 1. Now we have a majority of 7. And you don't realize how big 7 is.
MSTR is
until
up
you have a majority of 1.
25%.
7 sounds like so much.
25%.
we're doing well. But
Tesla
Mike Johnson
20,
and John Thune have
Palantir
done a really
19,
great job.
Nvidia 16, Apple 9, Microsoft's cooking, Meta's up 13, Netflix 7, Broadcom 16, Rum 13, Coin 18, ASML 13, Amazon 10, DJT's up 20, Qualcomm is up 12, Google's up 7. Dude, it's just ripping. SMH is ripping. How's Soxel? Soxel's up 49%.
And he knows that.
TQQQ is up 31%. This shit is nuts, dude. This is nuts.
I was willing to pull the trigger. This should have been done long ago. Just like Biden should have stopped the border long ago. I mean, allowed 21 million people plus into our country, many of whom
Vol's just puking. Look at that death spiral in volatility. Vol just puked.
Bringing them back to their countries. But it's should have never been done.
Let's mark out the new intraday high. Let's see if we can kill it. 5417.
Larger companies who have been hit hard in the markets the last few days during this 90 days.
As time goes by, we're going to take a look at it. There are some that have been hard. There are some that, by the nature of the company, get hit a little bit harder, and we'll take a look at that. Yeah. Just instinctively, more than anything else. I mean, you almost can't take a pencil to paper. It's really more of an instinct, I think, than anything else.
What's your credibility like? Because you said that these tariffs would go into effect on Monday. You said no pause, and today there is a pause. So how can people believe your words today?
It's not a question of that. You have to have flexibility. I could say, here's a wall, and I'm going to go through that wall. I'm going to go through it no matter what. And keep going, and you can't go through the wall. Sometimes you have to be able to go under the wall, around the wall, or over the wall. These guys know that better than anybody, right? You got to go around them sometimes. You're not going to go through them. So I consider, I think in financial markets, because they change. Look how much it changed today. We went from, pretty moderate today, but over the last few days it looked pretty glum, to, I guess they say it was the biggest day in financial history. That's a pretty big change.
Dollar amount is, not percentage-wise. Dollar amount, it definitely is. Points-wise, it definitely is.
He's asking the question about some companies. Some companies, through no fault of their own, they happen to be in an industry that is more affected by these things than others. You have to be able to show a little flexibility. And I'm able to do that. I'm going to say hello to these champions because they are great champions. I got to say hello.
All right, folks, you've been listening to President Trump there live outside the White House, following what's been a very interesting day and certainly a big market day, as we've got quite a rally underway. The rally kicked off by comments that President Trump said around 1:30 p.m. Wall Street time, which had to do with basically saying that there's a 90-day pause on those countries that did not retaliate when it came to the tariffs that the U.S. imposed on them.
The president saying he paused tariffs due to people jumping, quote, out of line. Here's what he said, quote, "Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line." This is what President Trump says when asked why he announced a 90-day tariff pause for most countries that have not retaliated against the U.S. Quote, "They were getting yippy," he says. This is the president speaking just moments ago to reporters during a photo op with racing champions at the White House.
Yeah, I think what's significant is he said he announced a tariff pause. As you said, those were his exact word, but because people were getting afraid, he did talk a lot about China, which is, I think, certainly front and center for all of us, that U.S.-China relationship.
All right, we don't need this. I'll give you guys a better breakdown. Hold tight.
And just
we don't need them.
Kind of
we don't need them.
He did say.
All right. Anyway, what are we currently up? The SPY is currently up 8.5%, which would officially put us at the 15th biggest percentage gain ever. In terms of points, though, this is in terms of the magnitude of the dollar recovery. This is the biggest gain ever. The biggest single day gain ever, just because right now, even with not as big as a percentage as we've seen, and we're really not that far away from cracking the top 10. Like, by who knows, by the time this ends, like if we really get pumping here, there might be a little bit of a power hour pump. We might be talking about a top 10 day percentage wise, but points wise and dollar wise, we are at the biggest singular gain ever. Like, this is absolutely nutty what's going on. I hope you guys are crushing it. I hope you guys are making a shitload of money. We in the Discord, we're just like absolutely annihilating it. As in the Discord, a lot of us pay attention to the news, and as soon as it was breaking, I just punted long. I'm up 82%, 75%, 67%, 59%, aka 8K, 30K, 5K, and 27K. So that's 60, 70, about $75,000. And I literally just thrown on the position as soon as that got on. Just if you want to join the Discord, the first month's free anyway. Ask anyone in the Discord. This stuff's all posted in real time. Like I said, if you use that promo code Goonie, your first month is free. You get full access to everything. My strategies, everyone else's trades, the private lectures, the morning breakdown, the daily update. Like, you literally get full access to everything. So if you're interested in a community of traders who basically are all working together to try to make sense of all this absolute chaos, like I said, if you're an active trader, it doesn't matter if you're doing stocks, options, futures, this is a good place for you to check out. I'm putting my money where my mouth is by not only showing you these real-time trades of 88, 77, 64, 61, about $75,000 of gains today. You get full access to everything for free with that code Goonie. So check that out if you're trying to, I guess, navigate some of this absolute insanity. But it looks like we're about to make a fresh high. We try to make a fresh high just now. We have a little bit of profit taking. Here's a quick look at the options flow on the day, which just went absolutely nutty. You can see, you know what I think is kind of weird is there was a spike in options about 8 minutes before. Now, I want to ask you guys this. Like, I know there's nothing to complain about here. I know, like, I fully understand that. I'm not going to look in someone else's pockets. But someone had a huge position at 102. And then at 118, the market took off. Now, my question to all of you, and I know I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, kind of feels like someone knew something was about to be announced. Has one of those vibes that right here, giant volume spike, and then a mere 16, 17 minutes later, we got one of the most historic announcements ever, leading to the largest intraday gain ever. Like, dude, someone knows. I think I saw someone actually talking about this. Who would it have been? Maybe Kobe? I think someone also noticed. We were literally talking about it in real time in the Discord that someone's like, dude, what? Right here. This is unusual. At 1:02 p.m. Eastern, the S&P surged nearly 1% in 4 minutes without any major news. And it wasn't just someone buying. It was via the options market. Right here, Mag 7. I'm zooming in on that exact timestamp. You could see that pump. And then also in the S&P 500, same thing. Let's just zoom in on 107. Look at like it stands out. It's an abnormal spike in volume even earlier. Someone was either the luckiest person ever, or they knew something, because right here, you could see by 1:10, the 1% rally was largely erased. And exactly 8 minutes later at 1:18, President Trump announced the 90-day tariff pause and and then obviously that at this point, the picture was at 5370. We're even higher now. We are at 5420. We're 50 points higher than that from when this picture was taken. We're all the way up here. We're literally like off the screen. So, I mean, whatever. They made money. I made money. I hope you guys are making money. But here's the actual news, just in case you missed it, of like why the market's going nuts and why everyone's like losing their mind, is because of this announcement right here. Based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I hereby am raising the tariff charge to China by the U.S. of America to 125%, effective immediately. So what's crazy is this is how fast the bots are to react to that. They read that first sentence, and this came out around 118. They right here. So the bots read that first sentence, and right here we dropped 40 points. This seems like nothing, but folks, they read the first sentence and the stock market dropped 1%. Because that's how fast these bots are at like processing this text. They read this, and within nanoseconds, they're like, that's bearish, that's crazy. And we dropped literally almost 1%. How insane is that? And then the bots kept reading. At the same point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called the representatives of the U.S., including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the U.S., I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariffs during that period, a 10% also effective immediately. So here's the TLDR. Everyone in the world, excluding China, is now dropping for the next 90 days to a 10% tariff, and then China is going up to 125%. But regardless, the bots reacted to this sentence right here, and that was the drop, and then they read the rest of it, and they're like, oh, actually, no, that's it's super, super good. So then from that moment, here, I'm just trying to zoom out so you guys can see how much we ripped. Within seconds from that dip to the first peak, we jumped 6.6%, and then the next peak, we were up 8%, and then I'm literally running out of real estate to measure this. From that dip, when the bots finally got it right, we're currently sitting up 8.5%. How insane is that? That is incredible that the bots are like, uh-oh, more tariffs. And they're like, oh, actually, this is really good. And we ripped. And I know it looks small because of the size that we've been doing, but this literally represents billions of dollars gone. And then even more billions. And at this point, actually literally trillions of dollars added to the market. That's how quick this all goes. That's how insane this is. And then likewise, you see Vol just dying. And if you give it enough time, Vol's about to puke all the way back down here. Vol's just going to keep dying and dying and dying and dying and dying. That actually reminds me. You could play the Vol of Vol in this situation. The Vol of Vol. Do I want to play that? ProShares Trust Ultra VIX short-term futures. Do I want to play Vol dying? Yes, no, maybe so. Should I make this trade live with all of you guys? Do I want to play Vol dying? Do I want to do it? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe also so. What do I want to play the death of Vol? I kind of want to. I kind of want to. Oh, do I want to do this? Do I have the balls to do this? Am I the guy to pull this trade off? Do I want to crush Vol? Am I going to be that guy? Oh, win in Rome, folks. Win in Rome. Win in Rome. I'm really thinking about this play. I'm really thinking about it. And I'm also thinking about this like core tenet of how my mother raised me. Like every single day before I went to middle school, she would say, Matt. And I'd look around. I'm like, what, mother? And she'd say, remember, I didn't raise a bitch. So generally when I'm making any trades, I like to think about that, the message that my mother gave me every single day before I went to school, elementary school, middle school, high school. It was always the same thing. I'd get out of the car and there might my backpack might get caught or something. I turn around, I'm like, what's up, mother? I always called her mother just out of pure respect. And she looked me dead in the eyes. And she's like, just remember, I didn't raise a bitch. Mother Kohrs, that's how she referred to herself. She's always like, Mother Kohrs, did not raise a bitch. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where we're at. Regardless, the market's pumping. This is a watch party. We're having fun. You guys don't need to learn about my upbringing. You're here to learn about Tendies. You're here to learn about a rocket ship. And I don't think this is going to be slowing down anytime. I mean, we have this upside gap fill. We have this upside gap fill. And then we have another peak up here at 5,800. Folks, we might be talking about 5,800 this week. And I think we might be talking about 5,571 tomorrow. I mean, hell, if you guys really sack up and start buying, we could be talking about it today. But that's another 2.5% gain to the upside gap fill. And then the next peak is all the way up here, another 6.5% gain. I think that's very much going to be in play, obviously, for the month of April. And I would like a little bit of an apology from some of you. I mean, obviously, I've been sharing my thesis that I think April's going to be an absolute bullish ripper of a month. And you guys clowned on me. But now you're not saying, all right, maybe you were right. Maybe you were right, Mr. Potato Head. Why the fuck would I be saying that? Sorry, I'm all jacked up on Tendies. I'm all jacked up on caffeine. Don't worry about what I'm saying. I'm just having a really good time. You know, speaking of that, let's get some Tendies and Tunes pumping in the background here to celebrate, ideally, a massive victory for all involved. All involved. What do we have here? We have the new Kohrs song, Backseat Boogie, Stupid Thoughts. Dude, we have the Liberation Day song. We could do a little bit of Liberation. We have Daddy Pal. We might be hearing a little bit from him. Champagne and Chill. Dude, this is the song for us. All right. We got a little bit of tunes. We don't have to be so quiet with all the thoughts in the back of our head, you know? I apologize, Mr. Tater. I'll accept that. Gorillionaires, no, they're washed. Gorillionaires is washed. Where it's at is Tendies and Tunes. Tendies and Tunes is where you can get your best market-based music. Liberation Day. Is it too late to buy in? It depends on your time frame. As a day trade, yeah, this is a bit silly. But I punted long in my own 401k. Obviously, I punted a shitload long in my. Well, that's not working how I wanted it to. I punted long in my options account. I mean, we're almost up 69k net, which is, and at one point I was down 20. So this is almost a 90k swing in my account. I've literally had $100,000 swing today. I also, wait, what's this one account? I forgot. Oh, holy fuck. Check this out. I'm also up an additional 35k in this account. So kind of getting myself back. Obviously, you guys in the day with the fake news day on Monday, your boy got it handed to him. So we're on the recovery phase right now, but that's a nice $33,000 return thus far, obviously unrealized. And then over here, we are up a nice 10K 37. So that's 47 plus another 37. That's 77. So 77, about 80K right now. That's plus 5. That's minus 2. So it's looking nice. And I have no ambitions to be closing it out today. Like, truly. I'm just... Big money is made from riding big trends, and when you're attempting to ride a big trend, you're taking on more risk because you don't know what's going to happen overnight. You don't know what the news is going to be. For example, tomorrow alone, we have inflation. We have the CPI report coming out tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. That's a risk. So if you're choosing to swing and attempting to ride a big trend, that's where the big money is. But to get the big money, it comes with big risk. That's the trade-off. Generally, when you're going for a bigger swing, you have to take more risk, but it's a very rare circumstance where you can make big money with little risk. It's just not how it works. That's just how money works, folks. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but to make big returns, you generally have to take big risks. It doesn't really work out where you could take minimal risks and somehow get that big slammer of a return. That's just not how it works. Holding 60 put credit spreads for this Friday, up around 10K. You know what? We don't usually get to do this too often, but since we are here all celebrating a historic day, how's everyone doing? I know you guys had to make like absolute bangers of a return, so feel free to post them. I know in normal life, whether it's your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friends, it's weird to talk about money because everyone's like, yo, the market's crazy. And yet you're like, well, I crushed it today. So I know how sometimes it can feel weird to talk about it and like money in itself is a taboo subject, but not here. Dude, this is the community where you let it rip. Dude, Quantum Smart making 173K today. Jesus, dude, that is a gnarly return. Brian making almost 800%. AMG 4K on a day. SQQQ value investor making 77K. William 3K 800 on Nvidia with Chaz. I'm too humble. Nah, dude. We don't do humble here. We don't even know what that word means here. Dude, 46K, 12K, 10K. I'm up 30K between my accounts. Boston Symphony crushing it. Hope everything else is going well with you, buddy. 3.7, 6.7, 11.5. Dude, this community is printing. Look at all those gains, dude. Huge percentages, huge dollar values. Dude, I bet within this community, like together, cohesively, cumulatively, I should say, I'm up 50% on 160K. I buy shares. Dude, I mean, that's still a crazy return. I mean, that's a crazy return. Look at this. Look at these gains over here. They're eye-watering. Absolutely. So Vol's getting crushed down 38%. SPX 9%. Q's 11, Bitcoin 8, and then this is where it gets crazy. MicroStrategy 26, Tesla 21, Palantir 19, Nvidia 18, Apple 14, Microsoft 9, Meta 14, Netflix 8, Broadcom 17. These are crazy numbers. These are absolutely short covering and panic. We could actually check to see if they are covering. What do we have here? Not as much as you'd think. Obviously, the puts are trending up, but not as... Dude, there might be more moves in this. Like in that classic like put covering short squeeze mania, you see the puts go even more haywire, and they're just not doing it right now. Granted, it's slightly trending up, but 0DT was untouched. No one was trading that throughout the day. Longer duration, yeah. I mean, you had to go from 1.2 to 2.2 billion, but there's still a lot of puts in the system that could get closed out for sure. Looking at the Mag 7, even here, look at some puts were actually being bought, that Delta was dropping, and now they're starting to capitulate, but we're just barely above the high we were. Folks, from the options perspective, there's room to go. As of now, this movement is people buying the underlying and punting long on calls, which be careful on calls because as vol drops, you don't want to go that far out of the money. Don't be a victim of vol crush. You are being fed a perfect opportunity. I would hate to see you fumble this by picking the wrong strike price, by picking the wrong date. Remember, the way you pick your YOLO out of the money puts is very different than your YOLO out of the money calls. And the reason for that is very simple. When you're doing YOLO out of the money puts and the market falls, vol expands. So not only are you adding deltas, as in like you kind of pick the right direction, but on top of that, you are adding like vol's going to expand. So that's going to be very, very beneficial for you in that option trade. The opposite is true in calls. If you're playing YOLO out of like deep out of the money calls, if you are right, as in the market goes up, well, don't forget that inherently means that vol is going to fall. And if vol falls, you're losing value. So be careful. Be careful on that. Please be careful on that. Yes, you could buy calls, but you might want to do something a little bit different. You might want to play it closer to at the money. You might want to do call debit spreads. If you want to play a levered, like derivative, but outside of the world of options, going long futures, going long leveraged ETFs, you have other things at your disposal to still represent a bullish bias that isn't deep out of the money short-term YOLO calls. Because like it's a very dangerous product to play right now, because if you're right, you're inherently wrong. If you're right in price going up, vol's going to get crushed and you're not going to see a gain in your options position. So please, 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 please be absurdly careful with that. Like stupidly careful. Like I said, if you need me to, I guess, say it again of what to you got to do, look at call debit spreads, look at selling puts, look at the money calls, and look at the futures market, going long ES, going long NQ. Those are all going to be better options if you have a bullish bias here, rather than going those super deep out of the money calls. Even at the money calls are going to be a little bit better. Even just because of it's the battle of intrinsic and extrinsic value, and you're going to very rapidly be losing extrinsic value from the vol crush. You're going to be losing Vega on the Vega side very, 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 very quickly. Does that make sense to everyone? I don't want to say it as if it's like just a fact and then everyone's like, wait, what? Tomorrow's CPI. Yeah. Tomorrow's CPI. Tomorrow's PPI. tomorrow's CPI, Friday's PPI. We also have the 30-year bond auction tomorrow. And then obviously in between now and even the CPI report, you're going to have the Australian, Asian, and European markets in real time reacting to what happened today with Trump. Speaking of that, has Trump gone and said anything else? We have quite a bit going on. Congratulations. All right, we already talked about that. So basically, everyone's going down to 10% except for China. China's going up to 125. I did let you guys know that the CPI report is tomorrow, an hour before the market opens. Obviously, we're going to be streaming that. And then at 1 p.m., right at the really end of lunch, 30-year bond auction. So pay attention. That's all tomorrow. And I do think that there were some other interesting things I wanted to cover. Breaking: President Trump said he would be watching the bond market. The bond market right now is beautiful. The 10-year note yield is up 50 bips over the last 3 days. They're going to be bringing that down. The only reason it would spike is if China keeps basically plummeting, selling their treasuries to get cash to protect the yuan. But I think that game's over. I honestly think there's no guarantee in this game, but I truly believe the highest probability pathways that China bends the knee within the month of April. What is this? We just witnessed one of the largest intraday S&P 500 trade gains in history. Exactly 4 hours ago, the 0DTE at 521 was trading at 1 cent. They are now trading at 14.50. That's 146% gain. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Imagine, dude. I hope one of you in here caught that. Breaking: the Nasdaq 100 rises over 9.5%, currently posting the 5th largest intraday gain in history. Once again, that's percentage-wise. If you look at the pure dollar amount, it's the largest gain. And we are screamingly green. We are ripping. The puts, the bears, the naysayers are getting their teeth kicked in. And this obviously came earlier today. This is a great time to buy. He wasn't kidding. We were all kind of sitting around wondering, does that actually mean anything? But at 9:37, literally at market open, he was telling us this is a great time to buy. And he wasn't wrong. I'm not by any means campaigning saying that was an easy read of the day. But it was, he was by no means kidding. Here, what other song can I rip here? Mississippi Gamblers, Prince Don't Lie. Oh, here we go. But yeah, literally right at market open, this is a great time to buy. He was definitely telegraphing his move today. All right, what else did we have? Watcher. Let's see what else we are missing. Very quickly checking in on the market. We are cruising. Here, I'll set an alert for a fresh high. I'll set an alert just so I don't miss it, but look at all those points. At one point today, we were at 5,000. We are now at 5,450. That's how quickly this game can change. What do we have going on? What is this? Justin, President Trump says China wants to make a deal, and they are in the process of figuring it out 26 minutes ago. Elon Musk Tesla rises 20%. That's disgusting. SEC approves options trading on spot Ethereum ETFs. Who gives a shit about that? Goldman Sachs rescinds its recession prediction after Trump's tariff pause. That's crazy. President Trump raises, we knew that, 125%. That was 5 hours ago. That was Becent. What about Walter Bloomberg? Let's see what this guy. I'm just trying to see if we're missing any news as things are just skyrocketing. Jamie Dimon said something had to be done. Once again, referring to the 90-day pause. Trump was watching bond market. Bond market now is beautiful. We'll take a look at exempting some U.S. companies. We have reversed tariffs for a short period of time, 90 days. Announced tariff pause because people getting afraid. Hackers breached Berkshire Hathaway's NetJets, steal clients' data. Oh, well, that's a little bit unfortunate. That's a little bit unfortunate, if you will. What else? Fed minutes. Oh, that came out of too. Majority said inflation could be more persistent. Fed may face difficult trade-offs. Well, if inflation comes in lower tomorrow, the Fed is going to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief because the overnight, really the credit market, the fixed income market, specifically the overnight lending market, was on a tough one. What do we have here? Bill Gross, Bond King, SY, own stocks, blah, blah, blah. Nomura calculates today's EOD levered ETF rebounds to be 34 billion. Margin calls going out. You can smell the party divided among the shorters from Mars. Dude, the shorts got murked. At what time does Walmart restate its guidance? Yeah, this morning they said they're not doing it because of tariffs. Yeah, we heard that Trump. Okay, I don't think we're missing anything new. Basically, everyone is full tilt long. The bears, the puts, they're getting murked. And we are literally on the cusp of a record high. Well, depending on how you look at it, you could already call this a record return. This is crazy. Crazy. And this is just printing. This is just printing. Look at these gains. 36, 36, 72, 80, 85, 84. Up 84 grand in a day, folks. Folks, you don't have to do this alone. You could do it with a bunch of other degenerates. If you want to trade with a fellow degenerate, your first month is free to see if it's for you. I want you guys to test drive the trading Discord, the official Goonie trading Discord. Remember, when you sign up, it can take up to an hour to process your account when you sync it. If you have any issues, please reach out to me. I will help you. Matthew media at MatthewKohrs.com. MMK147 on Discord, Matt_Kohrs on Twitter. It's all there. It's all in the welcome messages. You can reach out to me and I will personally assist you, but it could take up to an hour to process your account. So if you're signing up and the syncing isn't working for you, allow 1 hour to pass and then you should be A-okay. But like I said, first month is 100% free. And if you don't like it after the first month, just cancel your account and it never costs you anything anyway. So check it out. But we are looking so good right now. VIX. Downside gap fill on the VIX to 2209. 2209. I care about that, and I care about it breaking below 30. Wow. We're going to get rocking here, folks. We're going to get rocking. All right, what else? Do we miss anything else? What's the world saying about this? Always improving my protocol. Someone bought 1.3 million of SPY 510 calls earlier. 1.3 million to 33 million. President Xi Jinping having a rough day. Having a rough day. Trump to Americans right now. We will be fine with a lot less, right? That must have been from early this morning, because since then we are ripping. Realizing Trump told us to buy stocks and then pause tariffs, setting up everyone versus China. What a move. What a move. This is hilarious. This is a great time to buy. He was not wrong. He pretty much bottom ticked it. 937. Great time to buy. We pumped. We came down, tapped it, and then we were off to the races. This is my quant. Zero hedge. Jim Cramer predicts Black Monday meltdown. You will never guess what happened next. Yeah, literally a historic gain. Literally a historic gain. Wow. This is just, the amount of money people are making off this is just actually insane to live through. Like, literally, we're living through history. Just rocket, rippity, skippity, doodah history. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And China, basically, everyone in the world is going to have to say, are you team US or are you team China? And looking at who's not just holding the better cards, but pretty much holding the entire deck is the US. Like, why would they? Dude, this fucking dweeb made 34,000. He's a wannabe rocketer. Dude, people are making some serious dinero. And we're still going. It's not over. It's not. I'm wondering where we're going to end on the day. What percent are we up right now? We are currently up 9.3. Where does that put us on the leaderboard? 9.3. We officially cracked the top 10. We officially cracked the top 10 there. Officially. Now, obviously, what matters is where we end. But if we were to end literally right here, we are in a top 10 percentage gain day. And we are, if you care about the magnitude, just like the dollar value, this is, dude, fresh high. Oh, and it's going. It's not just a fresh high. It's a fucking ripping fresh high. How are the accounts looking? 42, 43, what's that? 85, 91. We're cracking 100. We cracked 100. We're at 100K day, baby. You know what they say. I know I don't look like a doctor, but some of you might be surprised to find out I am, in fact, a doctor. 100K a day keeps the doctor away on all counts. On all counts, it keeps the doctors away. You could just pay him off to not be near you. Be like, hey, man, get the fuck away. Don't talk to me right now, Mr. Doctor. That's what you would say if you were respectful. How's this account looking? Oh, another 44 on top. Guys, if you could do me a favor and not tell my wife, because hear me out. Hear me out. If we don't tell my wife, I could take all of this money and let it rip on one roll of the roulette wheel in Atlantic City. And I could do that this weekend. And like, think about it. Like, if it doesn't hit, she'll never know. She's not going to get pissed off. It's honestly a free ride. So like, if you guys could all just shut the fuck up and keep it a secret in the community and not tell my wife, this is like a perfect free ride opportunity. I could do a $100,000 roll of a roulette wheel and she'll never be the wiser. She'll never be the wiser. So, like, do we have a deal? Do you guys know how to keep your mouth shut? It's not technically lying because I don't think she's going to, like, ask you guys. But it's not necessarily, like, well, it's not like we're not liars, but we're not truthers. Like, we're just not telling her something. Like, I guess if she were to ask, I'm not saying anyone should lie to my wife, but, like, huh? Like, it's an idea. Some would say this is an idea. Alimony is much more expensive. You're not wrong. And we are pumping into clothes. Look at that. Look at her go. Vol's dying. Everything. The biggest gainers are MicroStrategy and Tesla. Palantir's not far behind. Nvidia's not far behind. Broadcom's not far behind. Apple, Meta, Microsoft, dude. It's just cruising for a bruising. It's a car. Dude, is this going to hit 50? Dude, we're almost. Oh, 50. I saw it. It counts. Lock it in, doctor. Lock it in. Doctor, we're losing the patient. I saw 50 for one quick second. It was there. Oh, it's there again. Look at it. I feel like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like, look at it. It's right there. Oh, right there. The question is am I going to take any of this money? And once again, it's not in my hands. I can take this risk if you guys just don't tell my fucking wife. Just don't tell her. But I'm seeing a lot of people like, oh, maybe I will tell his wife. I'm not liking the attitude from some of you is what I'm trying to say. What percentage are we at? Okay, we are about 7 minutes to go. 7 minutes to go. Just took profits, still got Nvidia calls. Folks, I'm in this for the swing. I'm not in this for a day trade. I'm in this for the V-shaped recovery. Your boy is looking to make enough income off this trade to like go hang out with the lady boys in Thailand for the next couple of years, you know? Maybe take a little break and become a monk. Like I'm not in this particular trade, this particular setup for just like pats on the back and attaboys. I'm in this one for blood. I'm hunting today. You could call me Craven. Dude, we are on a bear hunt and we're taking them all out. I'm not just talking brown bear. I'm not just talking black bear. I'm not talking grizzly. I'm talking polar bears. I'm talking sun bears. I'm talking even panda bears. I don't care what kind of bear. Dude, we're hunting today. We're hunting today. All of it. I know you guys are getting a little bit confused. You're like, are we hunting bears or are we hanging out with lady boys? And my point is you could do both. It's actually a little racist of you to assume that lady boys in Thailand don't hunt bears, but that's what we're doing. All the bears, the cool ones, the not cool ones, the endangered ones, the populated ones. We're just beating the shit out of bears. All of them. If I see a bear, I'm just going to give it a sharp elbow to the face. Super weird of you guys to assume that lady boys in Thailand don't hunt bears. But that's you. Hey, I guess I was raised differently. I was raised in an environment where I was told anyone could hunt bears in this environment. Lady bears, dude, we're starting with lady bears. They're even easier. They're smaller. We're going to warm up all the cubs too. Even Winnie the Pooh. We're going to, dude, if I had it my way, even Winnie the Pooh should be like on the lam right now because I'm going for him. That pantless little freak. I'll say it. I think it's weird. Him and Donald Duck, what the fuck were they up to all this time? And like, I know people didn't want to talk about it for various social political issues, but what the fuck were those two doing, you know? I know we're going a little bit off the rails, but if we were going to take out a bear, I'm just saying, no one's going to miss Winnie the Pooh. Honestly, that might be the thing that really brings us together with China, but I don't know. That's just my own thoughts on it. I know you guys don't come to me for political takes or even really life takes. You're just here more for the market. But I would argue that they're intertwined. I really would. The SPY currently up 9.5%. You have the Qs up 12%. Little bit. What are we doing? How are we going to end this? What's going to be, dude, the market on close pop right here, crazy. Let's see how this is going to go. Right here at 350, right 10 minutes before the market closes, you have the market on close imbalance orders, and obviously they were bullish, but then not long later, they were a little bit faded. We went from 5,480, although we just dropped 40 points, and we're still up 9%. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. 40-point drop, and we're still up 457 points. Still up 9%. That is wild. Congrats, folks. You're a part of history. How will Europa react? They'll probably say, hey, man, no more tariffs from us. We would love to talk. Basically, any country or group, which I know most are just countries, but the EU is technically a group. Anyone who's just like, hey, man, we're not going to retaliate, they get settled at 10%, and then they have a 3-month window to figure it out. Why would you not take that deal? It would be insane. Like, yeah, maybe some people in this situation choose to side with China, but it would be financially retarded if they did that. Bummer, I only put half my cash buy on the market today, wishing I went all in. Hey, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You never know. The market could have easily dumped for whatever random news, and then you might have been like, dude, I'm happy I only did half. Like, you can't Monday morning quarterback. Honestly, you cannot Monday morning quarterback. I came late. Is Matt high? High on life, high on gains, high on tendies. No, I'm not high. Drugs are whack, you know? Dope is whack. Haven't you ever been to a DARE class? One hit of a drug and you could die. I just want that out there, especially if we have any kids listening to the show. Drugs are for losers, and even if you see a drug, you could actually die. That's what they don't tell you. They don't tell you that, but like a lot of people think, oh, if I use drugs a lot, there might be issues. No. For the kids in the audience, if you even see a drug, you could die. I just want that out there, you know? Do your part. Stay away from the wacky tobacco. Stay away from the devil's lettuce. You know, all that jazz cabbage. Dude, all the weird names that they have for weed, they're actually hilarious. Drugs beat up my grandpa. Dude, same thing. My grandpa was jumped by drugs. Exactly. No change to Canada, Mexico tariffs. Having a good day on the stock market. No change to auto, steel, and aluminum. Record day of the stock market should continue. Who said that? Trump. Trump said that. The record day on the stock market should continue. Is this guy just now our new quant? Is he our new analyst? Should we just like literally trade what he tells us to trade? He just said the record day on the stock market should continue 32 seconds ago. He's my quant, man. I don't know what else you guys want from me. I don't know. Are you tilted from this morning? I wish. I'm the opposite of tilted. I am the Matrix. I'm in the Matrix. I've become the stock market. All right, folks, by the way, you have 20 seconds left. So if you're trying to make a decision before the market goes dingity ding 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 on the day, before we find out what record we are setting, this is your moment to do it. This is your moment to shine, little Buffalo friend. All right, we officially have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dingity. Oh, hang on. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. That's all she wrote there, Tonto. The market has officially closed. Golly! That sounded a little bit like a goat, a little bit like a sheep, if you will. SPX gained 9.5%. That puts us in the, how much exactly? 9.51. So that was the 9th biggest percentage gain ever. You guys just lived through it. You experienced it. This is what it's like to chew 5 gum, folks. Chewing 5 gum feels like the 9th biggest market gain in history, percentage-wise. And if you want to talk about dollar-wise, if you want to talk about point-wise, oh, well, you're living it. Number one money-wise, number one point-wise, percentage-wise, we're clocking in a top 10. We're clocking in a top 10. Yeah, this is the S&P 500. Here are all the percents. That is absolutely crazy. You can see where some of these where we closed at, we were at such baby levels, such baby levels. That is look at all these. We haven't had one in a while. The most recent one I'm seeing is 2020. So these must have been right here, number 9 and 10, which we just beat out. That was the COVID bounce. All these other ones are 1921, 1932, 31, 32, 31, 32, 33, 32, 31, 1933, 29, 31. Like we had a rebound, I guess, in 08, October of 08, solid rebounds. And then we had a solid rebound in COVID. Those were the only ones in recent history. I don't even think anyone was alive in 1933. How old would that make you now? Like 200, 300 years old? Those were our grandparents. So no one's even alive to tell you how that played out. But in recent history, it was this COVID bounce, and we just beat both COVID bounces days, not only by percentage, but by the actual dollar value, the point value, like however you shape it up. And then we didn't beat out the percentage of anything from 33, 39, 08, 32, 31, 29, 33, but we did beat it other way. And then I believe on NASDAQ, same story. The NASDAQ, let's just see. Let's look at that. NASDAQ tech went crazy. All right. So the tech sector, where were we at here? NDX is what we should be looking at. NDX gained 12%. NDX 12%, which puts us at number 12 point what? 12 point, where did it go? Hello, mom? 12.02. 12.02. That's the 3rd biggest percentage gain ever in the NASDAQ. You just witnessed it. You just lived it. 3rd biggest percentage gain ever, biggest point gain, and biggest dollar gain. So both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ put up the biggest point gain and money gain. And then percentage-wise, NASDAQ posted its 3rd biggest gain ever. And then if you're looking at the S&P 500, it posted its 9th. We cracked the top 10. Holy shit. That was something. That was something. And I don't think it's necessarily going to be over. Maybe I'm a little bit optimistic. Call me an optimistic Oscar. Call me, I don't know, a greedy Gary, whatever you do. But I think this thing might keep going there, brother. I think this one might keep going. We have this upside gap fill. Obviously, we have a nice bottoming formation, bottom, these 4 days. We pump up, upside gap fill. We have another upside gap fill, and then we have a shelf all the way up here. I'm really targeting 5,800. I really am. Here's a quick look at the options market. Look at all those calls. This is the S&P 500. See, the fact that I didn't see that many puts being closed out tells me that there's still room to run for these people holding puts to be like, hey, brother, I'm wrong. So I'm looking for that. And then on the Mag 7, same thing. Puts went up, came down. People were, the put delta was dropping up until 3 and 315, and then we ripped. There's more distance to go there. I mean, if we were to include other days, you would see that the options market still kind of beat up, which tells me that there's still gas in this fire to keep going. But look at the volume spike. As soon as this was announced, volume went haywire. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually hit a volume record today too. I would not be surprised in the slightest. Craziest move I've ever seen. I mean, it's the craziest move anyone's really ever seen in the NASDAQ, unless you were paying attention on January 3rd of 2001, or what the fuck was this? January, February, March, April 9th? Oh, wait, April 9th. Oh, it's already loaded in today at number 2. Oh, wow. I was going to say, this seems really, they already updated it? Huh? Yeah. Oh, we're there. Boom. We are the leaderboard, folks. We've made it. We've made it. We've made it. Number 9 on the S&P 500 and number 2. I didn't realize that the one I was looking at was our day. That's crazy. I was like, damn, that year seems real close. And then it's today. We're living in the now. So as you can tell, point change, I mean, it was literally 6x more than the other bigger percentage. Look at the like 1,857 points. And then even look at that on the S&P 500. We gained 400. The next closest one was number 5, which was a fourth of the size. So, I mean, I think that's what really matters here. This is just nuts. Oh, wow. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow, 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 wow. Are we missing anything? Let me give this a quick reload before I let you folks go. Does Trump have a Discord? Dude, that's hilarious. The Dow gained 8%. Record day on the stock market should continue, according to Trump. If he's our new quant, he's saying it's going to keep ripping. What's this one?
A lot of this came after we saw some jawboning from Donald Trump saying in a Truth Social post that now is a great time to buy.
He wasn't
That's
kidding.
interesting only because we know that he's watching now. He's watching what's happening, what's unfolding in financial markets, enough that, you know, it possessed him to actually send out a post about it and encourage some buying.
This is a great time to buy DJT. Is he talking specifically about that stock?
I think he's signing the post, but
I see.
So he kept it a little bit vague. He intentionally did that for sure.
So maybe some hopes that Trump put actually does exist. I imagine we'll find out soon. But coming up next, a lot of this came after we saw some
crazy. All right, folks. Well, I do need to remind you that tomorrow, an hour before the market opens, 8:30 a.m. ET, an hour before the market opens, we're getting the CPI report, the Consumer Price Index. So we're getting a pretty important inflation report, and we're hoping that it goes well so we can keep this rocket going. So do whatever you need to. Get rest, get ready, do all your lucky rain dances and everything else in between. But hopefully this green party continues. So anyway, folks, that's what I have for you. If you want to join the Goonie Trading Discord, your first month is free if you use that code Goonie, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Sign up for Locals, sync your Locals account to Discord, look at the second pinned message, or click on the giant Discord button on the right side of Locals. Locals is the account management payment processor, and then from there, you just have to connect to your Discord. If you have any issues, reach out to me, media@MatthewKohrs.com, or DM me on Discord, MMK147. That's what I have for you. I hope you guys crushed it. I hope you're ready to crush it again once tomorrow. Love you all. Peace.